This video sort of follows up on the last one I just did, maybe you just watched it, where I talked about how many liberals are defecting from the left to vote for Donald Trump, and that many people are seeing it. I'm seeing it, and Eric Weinstein is seeing it. I'm sure many others. We're hearing that people are freaking out about cancel culture in the far left, and that brings me to this segment. The New York Post says, beware the Biden-Sanders radical lefty manifesto. Divine, from Miranda Devine, who says, Joe Biden signed the death warrant for his campaign last week, even if he doesn't know it. The joint manifesto he released with Bernie Sanders is 110 pages of radical far-left policies, from a job-killing $2 trillion climate agenda to eliminating cash bail and dismantling border protection. Joe Biden, say it isn't so. He's gone far left. He hasn't. Joe Biden is further left than most people probably want, but not nearly far left enough for the far left. And therein lies the real problem that, while I'll agree, yes, Joe Biden signed his campaign death warrant, not because he's too far left, because, well, no, I mean, he is too far left, but not too far left enough, if you get the Futurama reference. Yeah. You see, I made a video talking about the Biden-Bernie unity plan, where I jokingly said that it was Bernie Sanders putting on a Joe Biden mask. That was a joke. But I mentioned that they were working together and that Joe Biden would be going far left. In response, I got some derision from actual far leftists who are like, this plan is not far left. So I would like to highlight this. And I would like to debunk some things. First of all, Joe Biden's absolutely moving to the left. It's true. Here's a story from the Washington Post. How Joe Biden is moving left while still being seen as a moderate. He is. They say the Trump campaign is utterly flummoxed by the state of affairs. They long ago gave up trying to claim that Biden is some kind of extremist and now can only shout that he'll be a puppet of the radical left. But that doesn't seem to be convincing anyone either, except it's true. On July 16th, they wrote this, and the Biden unity plan is getting a lot of attention, but I do believe it came out around the same time. So if Joe Biden isn't far left himself, but he's pandering to them and adopting many policies that we would see as far left, then yeah, he is. This is why I brought up the previous segment. Why some people would be leaving Joe Biden. The gap between liberal and far left is the Grand Canyon. And you can't stretch out across it and hold on. You fall. You fall straight down. So what do people do? They pick a side. The far left latches on to the far left, and the liberals now drift off to the right, and they say, I can't reach that far, and I'm not going to try. Joe Biden has created a giant empty pit of nonsensical policy positions where he's simultaneously far left and not far left enough. Just ask resident far lefty, not really far lefty, but Shoe on Head. Now, you may be a fan of Shoe. I think Shoe's pretty funny. She is, I believe she's pro-Bernie. I don't know exactly where she's at now. I think she's criticized Bernie, but I'm not going to assert what I think her politics are. Just point out some criticism or joke she had in my direction. I understand people make jokes. Okay, I'm just highlighting this. I want to point out things I said. She tweeted, I want to live in this universe. I was kidding about super far left. I don't know Shoe's politics. She highlights, this is Andrew Clavin. Joe Biden is being controlled by Bernie Sanders and the far left. The next segment we have from Trump War Room. Joe Biden is Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Ilhan Omar's Trojan horse for their radical socialist agenda. Don't be fooled. But she then highlighted two posts for me, where I'm literally talking about a Fox News story that says, what's in the Biden-Sanders unity platform? Halt on deportations, $15 minimum wage, reparations. And the quote is, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have teamed up. Well, Shoe, if you want to live in this universe, you literally do. That's actually the news story. They released a unity plan. Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have literally teamed up. Congratulations, you're in the universe you'd like. But then this one, it says, basically give you Bernie Sanders wearing a Joe Biden mask. That was actually the joke. But the truth is, what we're seeing here is that he's not far left enough. Well, there you go. I guess that's the point of the joke, right? That Shoe doesn't actually live in this universe and she would like to. And I'm literally showing a factual news story about their plans together. I think what we can actually take from this is their unity platform isn't actually endorsing Bernie Sanders' actual policy agendas. It's just Joe Biden trying to put a Bernie Sanders blow up doll to his side to convince the far left he is far left. But when regular liberals look over there, they see Joe Biden standing with Bernie Sanders. That's the important point. I'm not saying she was wrong. In fact, I'm saying Shu's perspective is actually on point. What I see from this when I saw this tweet of me, it's actually, you can't really see it because I'm in the corner of my own corner. Anyway, the point is, I was like, wow, I wasn't trying to act like, Joe Biden was endorsing socialist policy. But I do think it's fair to point out he's trying to unify the party, but the chasm is just much too large. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you to the story from Bloomberg. What is the date on this one? From October 14th. Sanders pledges 20% worker stake in sweeping governance overhaul. That's pretty far left, man. If that ain't far left enough for the far left, then they want to go real far left. Bernie Sanders proposed sweeping changes to U.S. corporate governance that would give workers 20% of ownership in public companies and the right to elect 45% of their directors while expanding the government's power to stop mergers. Okay, this is not the overt forced seizure of the means of production. That would be as far left as literally as you could possibly go. On the economic scale, when we say left and right, the furthest left is full worker control of everything. And far right is total laissez-faire capitalism. This is a 20% worker stake in a company, meaning that's pretty far left. That's almost as far left as you can go, having the government come in and give 20% of companies to the people, but it is not outright, like full-on socialism. You see what I'm saying? This isn't far left enough for the far left, but I'll tell you what, it is way too far left for me. The idea that, how would you even do this is one of the challenges. I guess the idea is that the 20% worker stake would just be held as some kind of worker stake. And then when employees are employees, they get payouts and dividends based on that ownership and can vote based on it. So the workers themselves would have a 20% voting power in corporate structure. That's pretty big. But then when it comes to directors, an even bigger stake. Yeah, 45% voting rights for directors. That is getting very, very close to socialism. So I think it's fair to point out progressives don't love Joe Biden, but they're learning to love his agenda. Some of the far left are actually entertaining the fact that Bernie Sanders is on his knees. He is begging you, please vote for me. I've got nothing. And the liberals are all leaving. So who's going to vote for Joe Biden? The people who don't pay attention, who are like Democrat, and the far leftists who are like, I'll take what I can get? I suppose so. I want to spend the last couple of minutes debunking a stupid meme from somebody who posted something dumb. Jules Sazdaltsev. I know Jules. I've worked with him, and I believe he has. Unfortunately, I'll just be as blunt as I can. Many people refer to Jules as Mustachio because he seemingly quit his job as an actual producer of news to a Trump reply guy, who then started spitting out half-baked memes that aren't fact-checked and don't make sense. And personally, I'm saddened by this. Jules and I have worked on, we worked together on some pretty big Discovery videos for the Discovery networks that did really well. Like, how powerful are nuclear weapons? Jules basically crafted that script as basically how it works is I'd sit down and be like, here's the thing, here's what I read, can we get citations? And we would talk about it. And then he writes up the script, and then I would read the script. At some point, I guess, he decided being a far left Donald Trump reply guy was his path towards success. Well, good for him. He's got 100-something thousand subscribers, and he's produced this meme, which has gotten 3,500 retweets. It's completely fake. It's propaganda for the far left, and I'm going to break it down. He tweeted, America does clap, not clap, you get the point, does not have a far left movement. It literally does. Our far right are fascists. Our center right are extreme nationalists. Our center left are classical conservatives. Our far left are moral centrist moderates. Any objective political compass would place politicians like Sanders and Warren barely left of center. Completely not true. A real far leftist movement would be advocating for forced property seizure by the working class. Instead, our far left is like, don't let people die in medical poverty, please. That's actually not true. You see, our center left is saying, don't let people die in medical poverty, please. It is popular among average Americans. When you actually look at the makeup of the United States, the entire country actually leans, in terms of personal politics, slightly center left. When it comes to government policy and politicians, we're actually slightly center right. When it comes to the economic makeup, we're actually slightly center right. We have a mixed economy. Most people are slightly to the left of center. This is true. Barack Obama in 2008 ran on universal health care and didn't get it done. Why? Because there are Republicans in this country, and that's how things work. But let's break down what he says. Our far right are fascists. Arguably not true. Although I don't think it matters because you're basically saying fringe extremists are fringe extremists. I think that point is irrelevant. Far right could refer to economics. They're not fascists. The ANCAPs are not fascists. In fact, there's videos going around of the Boogaloo boys who are ANCAPs literally saying that much. That's as far as you can go, standing in solidarity with Antifa. Why? They're all anti-establishment, not fascist. But if you want to argue that we have far right and some of them are fascists, sure. Now let's talk about what he says. Our center right are extremist nationalists. That means literally nothing. You can be a far left nationalist. Bernie Sanders for the longest time said he didn't want open borders, so that makes no sense. Our center left are classical conservatives. Literally not true when you have center leftists wanting universal healthcare or public healthcare options. That is literally center left. Our far left are moral centrist moderates. When Antifa marches around in black-clad groups, smashing windows, burning buildings down, and demanding that workers seize the means of production, when the Democratic Socialists of America have 72,000 members and are literally advocating for workers seizing the means of production, you're wrong. There is a far left in this country. I highlight this. He says Sanders and Warren are barely left of center. That is absolutely absurd. But I highlight this to just point out the disparity between what Joe Biden is offering and what the far left really wants. It is true Joe Biden is not far left at all, but he is moving further left than many Americans actually want by embracing some far left ideology. There you go. Now, if you want to know why people are fleeing, I'll wrap it up with this from Jules. Jules doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry. The fact that he thinks far left are centrists shows you why liberals are jumping ship and voting MAGA, because we are a centrist, slightly center-right country when you combine all the factors together, with a large base of center leftists. I got one more segment coming up for you in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.